Welcome back to my channel. If you saw my previous tower update video, you will have heard me speaking about the fact that the first feeding bin is very close to being harvested. I could have harvested that day. My problem being is that I wouldn't have had bedding ready enough. I might have been able to use my inoculating tray, but I didn't really want to do that. What I'd got was something else planned. And what you would have seen was me taking off the castings from the top, ready to do something else. And I put them in this bucket. So I explained in that video that I wanted to do some prepared bedding. So that's what I'm doing. In here are those castings. I just added cold water, and you can see they're in a bit of a slop. I actually went through this. I found some castings, so the worms had been breeding in that tray. There are a few worms in here. That doesn't matter, they've not been in this water long. They can survive for quite a while in water anyway, and they will work their way out of it. As you can see, there's not so much water that they can't get out of it a little bit. Also in here, I put a little bit of raw honey. You can put molasses in. There's theory as to whether it works or it doesn't, to help the microbes bloom and feed, but it's something sweet. They'll feed on it or not. I just thought I'd try it. So here what I've got is this is a 60 litre, I think, tote. It's got these clips on the side, which I'm not going to use for this particularly. What I've also done is I've soaked cocoa coir. You can see it's, I don't know if my hands will actually squeeze out, but I use hot water to break these down straight out of the kettle. The water that's in that bucket is bottled water. If you've got a spring, you know, if your water's coming up out of a well, you've had it tested, you can use that. What I wouldn't do is use water like mine, which is awful. Not without boiling it, which is what I did for this. This was boiled water, and then I've allowed this to cool, because what you don't want to do is put anything straight into this whilst it's hot and then kill your microbes. The other thing I've got to add into here is this slop, which is organic chicken manure pellets. I'll add in some photos of the packaging for this, because I can never remember the name. It used to be a company called Rooster, and they changed their name. It is Soil Association approved. So I know there's no nasties in this, and everything that's in it the worms can have. If you are going to add manures into this, farmyard manures and things, do check it. Grow it out with some beans even, unless you know. I've got some, I think they're Levington's farmyard manure. I spoke to the company. They're not Organic Association approved for that particular product, but I did speak to the company about it, and they have tested it with beans, because a lot of the companies don't. They have it lab tested, but it doesn't go down enough for the aminopyralid persistent herbicides. So you need to make sure, because if you put that in with your worms, they'll concentrate that down and it will kill various different plants. This won't, because this is organic, and so it's had nothing like that in it. Again, this was pellets. It's just had water put on, so it's now a slop. That's going to go into it. And then cardboard. So all I'm going to do is mix all this together in here, and I'll come back to you in a moment. So what I've done is, those other 2 buckets are now in here, thoroughly mixed up, and I've added cardboard. This is from a micro shred. It does 14 sheets of paper at the time, so it has no issues doing cardboard. This is all my shreds, so I know there's no plastic in here, which will be brilliant. So now I'm just going to mix this up, and then I can, so this is quite sloppy. It's difficult for me to, you can see how much moisture is coming out, but this cardboard will soak some of that up. And so the reason that I'm preparing this is so that I don't have to wait for everything to drip down through those other trays into an inoculating tray. This is basically fast tracking that. And the microbes that were already in the castings that I took, they'll multiply in here and get on with it. Also, there were more little worms in that in the castings than I'd anticipated, and so they'll already be in here feeding. The cocoons, sorry, that were in the castings, they will also hatch in here and start working. So by the time I harvest that other tray, this stuff will be ready to go. I might actually put a bit more cardboard in this, because the moisture, well, you can hear it. So yeah, you can see how much moisture is in that. So I will put some more cardboard in it. Because the other thing is, when you do those inoculating trays, it takes an awful lot of this cardboard shred. The tray will be full up to the top with the other ones sitting on it, and it will take a few months before it's ready, whereas I could use this straight away. But it will sit for however long, whether it's a week or 2 weeks before I harvest that other tray. So sorry, I'm out of breath. It doesn't take much when I'm doing these kind of things. And like I said in my previous video, I am asthmatic and I'm struggling at the moment because it's harvest season. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, the only thing I wouldn't use this for is the little breeder bin, because I am specifically breeding those to keep the red wigglers separate, and in the tower I've got a mix of Dendrobina and red wiggler. So I would, because I've put in the castings from the tower, I don't actually know what worms are in this and what cocoons are in this. So if I wanted to do this process for breeder bins, then I'd have to do it slightly differently. I mean, you could always take the castings from another bin but filter everything. You know, you can still use the fluid out of it and get the microbes washed through that way. You just, you just filter the actual castings out of it. I just tipped everything in here. I didn't filter it. So I'm sorry, I'm thinking on the fly there as to what I'd have to do. Because, yeah, so yeah, to do it for specific breeding bins to keep them, for individual worm breeds, then you could still do it. Just not put all of the castings in, if you've not got them for specific breeds, but to keep them individual. Sorry, I'm rambling now. So yeah, so that's that. That's how I'm doing this particular project. And what I'm also going to do, this huge bubble wrap came with these tubs because I ordered them online. I'll put a link in below. They were amazing. I ordered them on Saturday, they were here on Monday, so I'll put a link in for them. I've ordered from them before, so I'm going to put that on top as a barrier to keep them moist in there. And then they come with these lids, which I will put on top just to keep things out, but I'm not going to clip them. They do have, if you want to keep them secure for things, they have these holes that meet here, so you can either put a padlock through them or tie wraps. So they're quite good sturdy bins, and then you get 3 of them together, so they stack on top of each other. So there you go, that's the new prepared bedding project. So I hope you find that useful, and if you do, I hope you like, subscribe and share. That would be amazing, because I can try and up the production of my worms and my bins, but trying to do that for this channel is, yeah, that's not something I can do all by myself. So your help is appreciated, and yeah, thank you very much. Bye for now.